Right now, it might seem like I'm doing a lot of paintings, but I had a lot of marble sort of gifted to me. I'm able to back up and paint with acrylics, which was always sort of a direction I knew I was going to go, and I knew that I could only do so much in sculpture with what I was doing as far as detail and as far as subject matter. As a lot of people know, a lot of my sculptures were related to Native American imagery, Native American storytelling, and then animals. I grew up carving eagles, basically. Moved out at a young age. I moved out when I was 16. I started to realize, like, hey, with this little gift or whatever knack I had for carving eagles, I could make some money. And I used to, go up and down places in Woodstock and in Oneida, and from Oneida to Albany, selling, little sculptures, little necklaces, dream catchers and whatnot. It's always been an ongoing thing with art. I'm used to having deadlines, I'm used to having no money in the bank, and then suddenly having a bunch of it. Thankfully now I'm able to make something on a whim. If I get bored or worked up about something, I can just turn around and say, you know what, I want to paint a picture of a zombie running through the street with a machete stuck in the back of his head. I can actually just sit down and start doing something wild. I never really was able to do that, and for years I used to fight with it, like, am I allowed to do that? I still actually fight with it, and I think we were talking about it before, this weird guilt you feel about, am I wrong for doing this? Should I be out there, learning a trade to help humankind out, or was this my destiny? Was I really supposed to be here and make things that people may or may not like, but to stay creative in this world? Like new mediums and there's new techniques, there's always somebody that starts to shine in each of those little areas. I don't know if there will ever be another, like, as far as being like a Warhol or a Picasso or a Pollock, or we can all jump and look up and say, this is the greatest artist there is. I mean, people will argue and say, there is one. We have Jeff Koons, we have Damien Hirst, we have a bunch of others already. I'm waiting to see somebody come out of like a computer age where we really see something that somebody can really utilize all of these new technologies available and really come up with some really cool stuff. They're actually, expanding themselves. They're not stuck on one thing. Because when I was younger, one of my biggest directions was, I always said I would get into monumental bronze. You used to have to pay somebody to do a portrait of yourself. You had to pay a painter, and then all of a sudden a camera came along and they said, well, you can almost get it perfect now with just a photograph, and then, there's no need for the painter. So I'm still waiting for somebody to take what's given to us now and then push it even further. My best ideas are when I'm upset about something, to be honest. I'm going to be really brutally honest. If I'm doing a piece that I already know the outcome, doing something I already know what I'm doing, I already know the outcome, so again, your mind starts to wander. That's usually when I get my best ideas and my best pieces. Sometimes come from absurdity. I wanted to try to paint something to give the viewer like an uncertainty. I like when someone's looking at my paintings and they don't know where it came from. That's how, when I feel like I'm succeeding at something, that's usually when I feel like I'm at my best. My first thought would be, all right, you have to understand about your expectations. People need to keep their mind open on where they land, because you might be good at sculpting something and then realize that I actually like carving wood. I like doing this. Maybe you might make a piece of furniture that ends up taking you in a completely different direction. When you create for the rest of your life, it's almost like a commitment. At some point, you really had to stop and say, now, do I want to keep going with this? This could be a really hard path I go down. Learning how to do pours a long time ago. I was always just messing around with colors, like I'd put it in a dustpan, kind of get like a drippy, sort of ribbony effect. It was a technique that I saw. I knew Warhol had dish soap with it to give it this bubbly look. Not all pour paintings come out the same, and they're not all good. Like, some people will mash too many colors together. When you start looking into something, just like anybody would do, you start seeing little skulls and little ships, and it looks like little, maybe people in a crowd or something. It actually kind of calms you down. I was getting to the point where I was like, I keep making things that are making people happy, and I'm not always a happy person. So I started to do things a little darker, and I think everybody is a little bit of that side they don't really get in touch with.